having a conscious experience.
What's this?
But
If you were to look at a baby in of itself,
experience that I don't care about.
If you were to look at a baby in of itself, a pig is going to be a lot more conscious than a baby. It's going to know a lot more about its surroundings.
I'm not measuring degrees of consciousness. I'm measuring, do you have a human conscious experience or do you not? Are you a human being that is capable of perceiving?
Is this a vegan
Do you
debate?
think a pig has a greater conscious experience than a baby?
How would we measure the conscious experience between two different species?
I mean, it's a very difficult subject.
What's it like? Let me ask you, what is it like to perceive the world through sonar?
Through sonar.
Yeah. What if your eyes were removed from your head, you couldn't see anymore, and all your perception was based on sonar? What's that like?
I mean, I would be listening for frequency.
Describe it to me. What is it like?
I mean, I can't exactly tell you.
I know you can't describe it. That's the entire point.
I mean,
that's why you can't compare
between
species. We can't even begin. We can't even take step one into fathoming the consciousness of another being.
Consciousness is very questionable between zygotes, babies, whatever.
It's very questionable. There's a lot of thought on this, but the line there's one pretty clear line. Can you have one or can you not have one? That's the line.
Can you not have what?
A conscious experience at all. If you don't have the brain parts necessary to even do it, if you can't even get to step one, then I know you don't don't have a conscious experience.
A baby doesn't exactly have that strong of a conscious experience. I mean, we could go back and forth on
this for a while.
We could go back and forth on this because you keep trying to appeal to like the strength of it. Like, are you having a?
They're gonna go somewhere else.
You know what? I'm curious. I'm too curious about it.
States, people are gonna go somewhere else to produce stuff. And now you're talking about immigrants. Immigrants don't give us a shortage of.
Sorry, we are watching all debates out of order. Okay,
reduce the tax bracket to incentivize these corporations to hire American first.
Wait, so they didn't reduce the tax bracket; they increased taxes. Tariffs are a tax hike paid by American companies. But let's shift to some other policies of the Trump administration. Let's talk about something that you probably know about.
Okay.
The One Big Beautiful Bill. That's a bill.
No, actually, I don't know.
You don't know about that. That's the single biggest legislative accomplishment of the Trump administration.
It was so in depth, guys. It's a hard read. Okay, the education system failed me. That's why we're trying to defund
this is what I've been dealing with
the
Trump supporters all
education
day.
system.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you about it because I think a lot of Americans don't know about it.
Who is this?
Trump ran on a lot of populist things. He said, I'm not going to cut Medicaid. I'm not going to cut SNAP. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of Americans that don't usually vote for Republicans voted for Trump, because he said he was for the little guy. But here's what he did whenever he came into office. The One Big Beautiful Bill cut Medicaid by $1 trillion. Millions of Americans are going to lose their health insurance because of this president, and he lied in his campaign.
So
he also cut SNAP, just one more thing.
Okay.
He cut SNAP benefits by $800 billion, putting 3 million Americans at risk of losing their food benefits. I don't think it makes sense to cut the benefits that Americans relied on, especially when you promised that you were going to retain them.
Who the fuck is
while
outside?
You're giving huge tax cuts to
I didn't
billionaires.
promise it. Trump did.
I'm over
And
encumbered.
you voted for him.
I need.
Hold on. Well, let me. You're going to talk through the whole thing. Okay. This has
You
to
need to
do a
drop some
lot with
shit.
illegal immigration. Okay.
Oh my God, is that sharp?
The
I'm
reason
kidding,
I keep
joking.
bringing
I'm
this
joking.
up is because these illegals were the ones getting the Medicaid services.
That's not even true. And
That is
And the
true.
Medicaid cuts
A
are
lot
for
of
Americans.
Californians-
They don't even deny
Look,
that the Medicaid
simple
cuts are
fact
for
here:
Americans.
$44 billion was contributed to illegal immigrants in California. I'm in one of the most liberal states that ever existed. We founded liberalism. So your version of liberalism
was
could
founded
be
in Europe.
completely different than my version of liberalism.
Like a gay ass cold sugar.
When you
Yeah.
want to talk about defunding the Medicaid by $1 billion or whatever.
$1 trillion.
I'm carrying too many weapons.
Yeah, that trillion was predominantly illegals.
No, you don't know that. You didn't even know what the
I do
you
know
didn't
that.
even know what was in the One Big Beautiful Bill until I just told you. And now you know that $1 trillion of cuts was all
I'm
cuts
referring to the
for
clean
illegal-
CR.
So he put $1 trillion of cuts, work requirements,
Friendly?
cutting people that are disabled, people that are not working from Medicaid.
Friendly?
And that's harming Americans. They're not even denying. They're not even saying that this is
Okay,
about illegal
simple
immigration.
fact here, guys. Who funds Medicaid? Is it the federal government or is it the states?
It's both. The answer is both.
There you go. So for you to say that Medicaid is predominantly funded by Trump is a complete lie.
I didn't even say that. I didn't
You
even say
literally
that.
just said he cut
But
$1
actually,
trillion.
it is predominantly funded by the federal government ever since the Affordable Care Act was passed.
And let the state.
So
well, let me
you don't know
explain
what you're
about the
talking
Affordable Care Act.
Let's talk about it.
So when you have the Affordable Care Act, you're giving these corporations, you're giving them directly.
Why?
You're subsidizing a health market as opposed to giving
I was just
the money
trying to
directly
do
to the
quests.
person.
Why?
It's closing.
You didn't
the health
respond.
market, and you're not
thought
having
you were-
an open market where people can choose whatever they want.
I have a question. You oppose Obamacare,
Look,
right?
look,
You oppose
listen,
the Affordable
okay?
Care Act. Those are the same thing.
Well, the Republicans just passed.
This is just a
new version
misunderstanding.
of the
All right?
the Yes, they did.
This is just a
They didn't
misunderstanding,
replace the
okay?
Affordable Care Act. It's still around. We're still talking about it. The ACA tax credits
I
haven't been
promise.
figured out.
This is just a
I didn't say they
misunderstanding.
replaced Obamacare. I'm just saying they passed another version of it.
They haven't.
If you defib me,
But do you
Literally in
support?
there.
Do you
Look.
support the Affordable Care Act?
look, I'm innocent, okay?
To an extent, I think it could be better.
It was like
I'm not a
the main thing
PvPer.
Obama did. So do you think Obama?
I got
was
too
good
much to
when it
lose
came
right
that?
now,
I
okay?
think Obama had so much faults that could have been better. I mean, look, my
What?
focus is on immigration. We can talk about immigration.
I can't
'cause
hear you
that's
if you're talking.
basically my focus point. I think Obama did a huge disparity to the Hispanic community. When you're incentivizing illegal immigrants into coming into this country, you're basically lying to their faces
Please.
and telling them to
You're the only one that
abuse
can help
people.
me.
Don't
Aw,
offer
come
them
on.
Union benefits, retirement,
All right.
health care.
You could tell. You could tell he was thinking about it. He was thinking about it. He was actually thinking. I was like, oh my god, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's nothing valuable on me anyway. Okay, it doesn't matter.
That.
Okay.
And so when you
undocumented immigrants are not eligible for most federal welfare programs.
there you go.
Especially not today. They're not
Yes,
eligible
they
for SNAP.
are.
They're
In
not eligible for
California,
Medicaid.
yes, they
In
are.
California, they expanded health care to undocumented immigrants. But do you know why?
Correct.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
He's savoring your grief. I think that's what's going on. I think he's savoring your grief.
They're-
Yes.
they're in
Because illegal.
California.
I'm from the state of Texas. In the state of Texas,
Strange.
undocumented immigrants go to the hospital, and what happens? They get
That was a
care.
crazy weapon.
Because we have a policy in our hospitals.
Deterrent.
If you are in a medical emergency, we don't check your
It
papers.
sounded
before
so sus. How? What? Okay.
we give you,
All right, if you say so.
help, right? We
No.
just help you immediately. And so we help undocumented people whenever they go to the hospital. And who pays for that health care? In the state
Us.
of Texas, yes,
In our
yes,
taxpayers.
yes.
And
so
they're
what
illegal.
happens in states like Texas is these healthcare facilities, these hospitals,
Mm-hmm.
have to be reimbursed on the back end for all the healthcare they provide to undocumented immigrants. That is the same. In red states, they
Abandoned
give
housing
healthcare to
project,
undocumented
okay.
immigrants. But here's the difference between red states and California.
Okay.
In California, they have health insurance for the undocumented, so that they go to physicians, they go to primary care doctors, they go get tests, so they don't always go to the hospital. Meanwhile, in states like red states, if you're an undocumented person, you only go to the hospital, which is way more expensive. We can have a
Okay, I don't care about this.
When
one.
we're like thinking, that doesn't mean 50 pills and IUDs will prevent implantation, which is about 5 days in. Henceforth, it is an abortion.
All right, anybody want to talk about abortion? Woo! Fucking hate abortion debates. That's okay.
All right, we're going to be getting on to our next debate. This debate is going to be. Are you guys ready? You guys all ready?
Oh, fuck abortion? Me too.
We have a habit of conservatives running. We had the first conservative was very late. The second conservative has gone to the bathroom. We're not sure
Running.
where he's gone since. Okay, all right. All right,
What?
get ready for our
Okay.
next debate. Again, this is going to be about 20 minutes. And then afterwards, we're going to put mics down. On the left, we have Andrew. He'll
Wilson?
be representing
Oh, never
left.
mind.
And then we have Riley, who is representing the right. So I'm going to let you guys take it away.
Oh my god, it's the Nick Fuentes getup. Dude, this guy, okay, Nick Fuentes needs to stop influencing fashion trend. It's not good for our economy, okay? It's not good for our health. It's not good for our economy, Jesus.
Go ahead and tell them what the topic is.
I'm just not.
Yeah, so the topic is going to be whether or not birth control should be banned.
Really quickly. I'm so sorry to interrupt. Make sure you guys, we've had volume. Hold this to your mouth. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hey, yo. What do you mean by that?
All right, give it to him.
All right, so the debate
Yo,
topic
pause!
is going to be whether or not we should ban birth control in America. And my stance is that we should ban birth control pills and IUDs in the United States of America. That is in the best interest of the American people, and it
Not
is
gay.
the most moral option for women to do.
All right, when you say you want to ban birth control, are you talking about
how do you even
across the board,
do
all
this?
We're talking.
Or it doesn't
We're
matter, I
talking
don't
pills.
care.
We're talking hormonal birth control. We're talking IUDs. The whole lot.
Yeah, I'm talking about everything except condoms.
Everything except condoms. Okay. Why?
Well, I am staunchly pro-life, and I guess we're going to delve into that a little bit. But birth control pills, IUDs, a lot of people don't know this, but they actually prevent implantation. And as a Christian, and as a person who can think logically, I believe that life begins at conception. And so birth control pills and
Okay, well, I mean, you're clearly not thinking logically, but
IUDs will
okay.
prevent implantation, which is about 5 days in. Henceforth, it is an abortion.
Would you say you place the same moral value on a 2-cell zygote as you do on yourself, Mercedes,
Yes.
myself?
Yes.
The same? They're exactly
Yes.
weighted the same? Okay. We don't think about anything like this, but let me ask you, let me test your logic, test your consistency. Okay. If you had a dog, and the dog got loose, and it went and attacked a random person living their life, walking down the street, and it got gnarly and it killed that person, we would put the dog down.
Yes.
Inherently, we value human life more than we value animal life.
Yeah.
If that same dog got loose and wandered into a laboratory where they're growing zygotes and ate one off the table, you putting the dog down?
What was that?
If that same dog got loose and wandered into a lab where scientists were growing zygotes and ate one off the table, are you going to put the dog down?
I mean, first of all, this is a situation which wouldn't exactly happen, and also I'm against IVF as well. I think IVF should be banned, so I don't think this scenario should even be happening in America. So I don't think we should put the dog down. I think we should put the scientists who are performing IVF, I think we should put those scientists down.
Oh, yeah?
Instead of the dog.
Jesus.
That was a non-answer, by the way.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, it is going to be equivalent in the loss of life. Now, should we put the dog down? Well, that's a different. If you accidentally kill someone, right, the dog isn't going to knock over a shelf and know that they're killing a zygote, right? But the dog somewhat knows that they're aggressive and they're killing a
Yeah,
grown
boy.
human being.
Yeah, we don't
Say
when
cheese.
we're looking at like animal attacks. We don't evaluate the like internal thought process of the animal like we do with humans. We don't look to intention because we can't even fathom the conscious experience
the
of
dog
a
wasn't
dog.
exactly aggressive though. The dog knocked something over.
It's not about aggressiveness. It's about threat to life. That dog has demonstrated in the
Yes,
first
but
instance
the
where it's
dog
attacking
is-
a human being. The dog's demonstrating I'm a threat to humans, and so the dog has to go.
But the dog doesn't.
I don't know. I don't know if the dog example is the best example. I'm not entirely sure if the dog example is the best example here. Okay. Like if I were to go an abortion debate, like I'd probably go with like, would you say the seed is the same as a tree? You wouldn't. So like if you crunch seeds of a tree to the point where you can't use them anymore, is that the same as like killing an entire like fucking 1,000-year-old like fucking old oak? No one would ever agree to that. Like you would sound fucking insane. But
show a higher chance of harming future zygotes if they accidentally knock over a shelf, while they do show a higher chance of biting more people and killing more people, like mauling a grown man to death, because they've done it before. If they knock over a shelf accidentally, that doesn't mean they're going to knock over a shelf
Preventing
again.
that dog from attacking a fully grown human being is just as easy as preventing it from attacking you just don't let it back in the lab, or you take steps to make sure that can't happen again.
Yes.
If a dog attacks and kills a human being, you put them in a cage for the rest of their life. What do you think jails are?
I think jail's for black people. But
Yeah, okay, that's not the topic. All right,
Yeah, I know.
we could throw that dog. We could throw that same
nice,
dog
good
into a
one.
cage
Ha,
for the
ha,
rest
ha,
of his
very
life to
funny.
prevent it. It
Yeah.
will never
Walmart
attack
Nick
another human being
Fuentes.
again.
Ha, ha, ha.
The question when we look to like something like an animal attack, because we can't evaluate a dog's consciousness, the question is, are you a threat? Have you shown yourself to be a threat to humans? And in this case, if you truly believe in your soul that a 2-cell zygote is the same morally as a fully grown human, you've done the same thing in both cases.
okay, well, I
So
want to bring up
that
a little
dog's
bit of
got to go, right?
Yeah, I'm going to bring up a little bit of an analogy here, right? So, do you value a baby's life just as much as your life, like a newborn baby?
Do I value a baby's life as
Yes.
much as me?
A baby, yes.
No,
You don't. You don't value baby as much as your own life.
no.
So you would choose that you
No.
would live over a
What the
baby.
f-
If you're on the
Yeah.
because it's your life, motherfucker. It's self-defense. You would never say, what? I wouldn't even value an adult life the same way I value my own life. What? Okay, never mind. He's throwing, okay? Yeah, okay. He's throwing.
Titanic and it's sinking. You would choose
He's
the spot
throwing.
on that life.
No,
but instead
that's
Why
of
would
the
you
baby.
make that
Not the same
argument?
thing.
You
I
sound
have
like a
more
retard.
value for my own life because I know what it's like to be me. I can fathom my own consciousness. I don't know what it's like to be another being.
You don't think that baby's life is equivalent to your own life?
No, they're definitely equivalent. But you asked me if
Two.
I value it. They're
Okay.
morally equivalent, absolutely.
Yes.
They're more.
Okay,
They're
why is
definitely
the baby
morally
morally equivalent to you if the baby's a lot
because we're
dumber?
both human beings.
What gives life value? What makes it
the
valuable?
human conscious experience.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'll give a really edgy answer. What gives life value? Death, okay? I'm so edgy. Oh, no.
The human conscious experience. Does a baby have a human conscious experience, and how do we
Yes.
know that? It does. Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't think
Sentience?
they do.
Maybe.
You don't think they do?
I mean, there's no way to exactly test this, right? Just
They
kind of
have-
goes
do
off
they
the
have the
logic.
brain parts necessary to form a conscious experience?
Okay, well, I mean, if you want to call it consciousness, just kind of operating their brain. Is a pig smarter than a baby?
A pig is definitely smarter than a baby.
Pig is definitely smarter than a baby. Do you eat pork?
Yes, I eat pork.
Why are you fine with killing pigs but not with killing babies if the pig is more conscious
because
than
I
the baby?
value a human conscious experience.
Why do you value a human?
Because I know what it's like to be a human. I can't fathom what it's like to be
So
an
you
animal.
know that one day that baby is going to grow up and have a conscious experience just like your own.
I wouldn't make this argument either. Hold on. Like I wouldn't make this argument either, by the way. Like, oh yeah, I value whatever, right? Because I like, even if like, why, like, where does this argument even come from, right? This weird direction that people take the argument where they say something like, oh yeah, like a pig has the same smartness level as a baby or something like that. I think that's a weird argument, just mainly because if you're a pig, right, you kind of stay a pig, okay? You don't really have the capacity to grow into something that is much smarter than that, right? But for a baby, they have the capacity to grow, but that's not the only argument, is that even if they are the same intelligence, their brains are so fundamentally different to the point where a comparison between them is still bad faith, right? Like if you were to compare like a pig and a baby, the reason why it'd be bad faith is because even if technically they can solve similar puzzles as to one another, that doesn't mean that their brains are wired in the same way like a human is, right? That gives them that kind of design, right? That kind of like capacity for sentience. It's just not there, right? Like an elephant is estimated to, here's another great example, okay? Elephant is, an elephant has the same intelligence supposedly as a human being adult, okay? Supposedly, but they clearly don't. We keep them in zoos, okay? Yeah.
Not just like my own, but it's going to have a
We don't
similar
treat them
concept.
as the
It's gonna
same
have a
capacity
similarity
as a
experience.
human being.
But doesn't that same logic apply
You know?
to a fetus of any stage of development?
No.
From
Or a
conception
whale.
before-
Like we don't apply that
Before
same
a fetus
standard.
has
We
the
don't.
brain parts necessary to even form that conscious experience. There's nothing to speak of yet. There is no person yet. There's nothing happening yet.
Same thing with a baby. There is no personality of a baby yet.
Do you think personality and consciousness are the same thing?
I do not.
What?
But so consciousness would be, so like early consciousness would have a lack of personality. But I want to go back to a point though that you're fine with killing pigs but not with killing babies because the baby will one day grow up to be an intelligent human being,
No,
right?
a baby won't grow.
Hey, do you guys know how to open the gate? How does it work? Does anybody know how the gate works, or?
I have no. I could not possibly care less about the intelligence of the baby or the
You used to
intelligence
keep
that
humans
is
in the
there.
zoo? Mhm.
It's having a human conscious experience. That's what I value. The human experience.
Okay, yes,
Intelligence is a completely. If I knew for a fact that someone was going to grow up to have like a 45 IQ, I'm not going to just blast them right then and there. I don't care about the
Yeah.
intelligence part at all.
But the
I
human
mean,
conscious
maybe
experience.
it is
But it
a 45 IQ human being. I think it's a mercy to blast them. Actually, what? Like, what are you on about? Like, what are you? Yeah, I think it. I don't know. I think I would blast a 45 IQ human. Actually, like existence is pain for that individual. Like, they feel pain at all times because of some chromosomal defect, right? They have a terminal illness that'll make them die at 8 max if you have like the best treatment. Like, I don't know, something is going on there that would prevent that baby from literally having a good life in any shape or fashion. I don't know. It's just,
baby does not have that same
I won't.
human
No,
conscious
I would.
experience when they're a
What do you
newborn.
think a conscious? What do you think? Of what
I
I'm
will make the
referring to when I
decision
say
that others
consciousness?
cannot.
Consciousness, I would say intelligence to know. Let's think.
You're already off basis. If you're
Yeah, I know.
trying to invoke or if you're trying to like signal to intelligence at all, you're already off base. Intelligence
No,
is wholly irrelevant in this case.
Consciousness would be the ability to know that you are here exactly. Like if you not having consciousness would just be living in the life, operating like a, I don't know, like a mouse or something. Get food, have sex, reproduce or something. Consciousness would be being able to know that you are in this world. It's kind of hard to explain consciousness. There's a lot of different definitions, right? So it's gonna be very difficult. But
There's like, yeah, if we delve into like if we delve deep into a philosophy, there's going to be infinite definitions.
I think we have a very similar
The
definition.
fundamental question here is does a thing have the ability to have a human conscious experience, or does it not?
Yes, a
That's
fetus
Sebastian.
does. It has the ability to have a
Ow.
human
At a
experience.
certain point, it
at a certain point,
develops
just like a baby.
and that's at a certain point, and that's the line right
A
there.
newborn baby does not currently have a human conscious experience that you value, right?
A newborn baby has a human. It already has it. It's done. It's already there.
Okay, well, what's the evidence for that? I guess what is the claim there? You can't ask a baby if they're conscious,
blue
and you
gate.
can't ask a zygote if they're conscious. So I could apply that same logic to that a fetus is conscious.
What is
just
the
as much
blue
as the baby
gate?
is.
So the bullet you're gonna bite, to be clear, I just want to lay this. The bullet you're gonna bite is that a newborn baby
a
isn't
gate that's
having a
blue?
conscious experience.
Yes,
It has no consciousness.
to a major extent. Yeah, not to the extent that we do. Yes.
And you think that because you think that I'm defining consciousness as, or you think that we conceptualize consciousness as intelligence or ability to understand things.
I think it's the ability to understand that you are in this world and to look at yourself from an outside
Let me ask you,
perspective.
do you believe that a baby can see? Can it see its surroundings?
Hey, what is the blue gate? How do we do it? I don't know how to do it. Do any of you guys know how it works? I guess not.
Or keep talking. I got you. I got hit by the rocketeer. You're good. Thanks, brother.
I mean, they're usually a little bit blind at first for the first week or two, and eventually they open their eyes.
A
What do you
little
mean?
bit blind.
See their
implying
surroundings.
that it can
Yeah,
see
I mean,
something.
not blind.
Can it see?
Their eyes
Can
are
it hear?
closed.
Can it perceive things?
Yeah, exactly.
How could it perceive things if it's not conscious? Consciousness is a prerequisite to be able to
How could
fathom
it
perceptions.
Well, a pig can perceive things. A pig
I
can
love
see,
this
a
gun,
pig can
dude.
hear, a
I
pig
didn't
can
say a
taste.
pig is not having some conscious experience. I said it's not having a human conscious
Hey,
experience.
I'm gonna come with, okay?
A pig is definitely having a conscious experience, but it's having
if you were to
it's
look
having
at a
pig
baby in of
conscious
itself-
experience that I don't care about.
If you were to look at a baby in and of itself, a pig is going to be a lot more conscious than a baby. It's going to know a lot more about its surroundings.
I'm not measuring degrees of consciousness. I'm measuring, do you have a human conscious experience or do you not? Are you a human being that is capable of perceiving?
Excuse me, as a former
That's the law.
baby,
It has a greater conscious experience.
there's discrimination.
How would we measure the conscious experience between two different
I
species?
mean, it's a very difficult
What's
subject.
it like? Let me ask you. What is it like to perceive the world through sonar?
through sonar?
Now, through
I
it.
mean,
Like, what if your eyes were removed from your head, you couldn't see anymore, and all your perception was based on sonar? What's that like?
I mean,
Describe
I would be
that to me.
listening for frequency
Let's
sounds
describe
that
that
Like
to
a
me.
bat?
What is it like?
I mean, I can't exactly tell
I
you.
know
It's very
you can't
difficult to
describe
do.
it. That's the entire point.
I mean,
that's
I
why
can
you
think
can't
about how it
compare between
works.
species. We can't even begin. We can't even take step
Yeah.
one into fathoming the consciousness of
But
another
also,
being.
consciousness is very
They're just
questionable.
activating
between zygotes, babies,
gate.
whatever
It is
you wanna call
very,
it.
it's very
But-
questionable. There's a lot of thought on this, but the line,
Yes.
there's one pretty clear line. Can you have one or can you not have one? That's the line.
Can you not have what?
A conscious experience at all. If you don't have the brain parts necessary to even do it, if you can't even get to step one, then I know you don't have a conscious experience.
A baby doesn't
If the
exactly have
brain's
that
not
strong
even-
of conscious experience. I mean, we can go back
I'm
and
not-
forth on this. For a while.
Yo!
We could go back and forth on this because you keep trying to appeal to like the
was
strength
cool.
of it. Like, are you having a stronger conscious experience than some other being? But it's not a scale here. It's a binary. It's 0 or 1.
You're saying human or pig?
No, I'd say conscious or not.
Conscious or not? Well,
Is
do you
your
think a
brain
pig is-
formed
do you
enough
think
such that you could have one?
Do you think a pig is more conscious than a baby?
It's not a scale. It's not.
So you're saying it's different, pig consciousness versus human consciousness?
Yes, it's very different.
Oh,
You know why
Lord.
I know it's very different?
What?
I can tell you what it's like to be a human being.
But can you tell me what it's like to be a human baby? Do you remember?
Trump is not a baby because he wears diapers. True.
If I could speak at the time, if I could form words and tell you, I would have loved to have told you. But couldn't do it.
Okay.
But again, you're measuring intelligence. I'm not.
Yeah, okay. I mean, let me bring up another thing, right? If you
hold
saw...
on, I gotta ask one more clarifier.
Yeah.
If just just having this conversation, hearing the way you like are trying to tackle the consciousness, do you think like there should be like an intelligence limit on human beings? Like if we can't measure your IQ over a certain number, we just execute you?
No.
You're placing a lot of importance on that
I
intelligence
said
part.
the word intelligence one time, and you kept on using...
I mean, ironically enough, I think it's the groypers who are gonna believe this the most, right? Like this person is a groyper, I feel like, right? Obviously, like the whole Nick Fuentes cosplay going
That is
on.
my
but-
definition for consciousness.
I think
and
you
even
But you know, I think it's a little bit late for
though I
Halloween.
talked to
Quite a
myself
few
right
times.
after. But also, I wanted to bring up something. If you saw in the newspaper that a 35-year-old man died in a car crash, you wouldn't give a crap most likely. Like, to be honest, I wouldn't really care too much unless I knew the man. If you saw that a 1-year-old baby died in a car crash, you'd be a little bit sad. You're like, dang, it had its whole life ahead of it, right?
What? So feels over reals? Damn, I didn't know the right wing would love that kind of argument. Feels over reals based.
No.
He looks like
It's
a
the same
more
reaction both
handsome
times.
Fuentes.
It's the same.
Yeah, why would it
subjective.
not be the same?
Okay, old man dies in a nursing home. I'll just bring it to another extreme. Old man dies in a nursing home. Baby dies in a car crash. What's sadder?
What's sadder?
Yeah, well, like, what is sadder
Well,
for you? What is like the greater
It's
moral
probably going
loss?
to be the baby, but it's not sadder because they're morally or inequivalent.
Aye, aye.
That has nothing to do. The like moral equivalency between these two beings is the same in my mind. The sadness is there's some intuitive thing that's happening inside of inside of a human being.
Outside of looking outside of like our baby fever and like, oh no, a baby died, and like looking at a dead baby.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like,
that's where the sadness comes
Don't
from.
you
It's that
think that it's
intuitive
a-
feeling of like, not a baby. There's sweet little innocent thing can't defend itself and it dies for no reason.
don't you think it's a greater moral loss for a baby to lose 85 years of life ahead?
I mean, I feel as though like when I feel sad for a baby dying, it's the same kind of sadness I feel like when a pet has died. Not saying that babies are the same as pets, but it's the same feeling. It genuinely is the same feeling. I don't know. Maybe other people feel differently because of the potential of life ahead of a person that if you want to argue for that, that's fine. But I don't feel that. I'm not mourning a baby dying because it has the potential for life. I'm mourning a baby dying because it gives me the same feeling as I would feel if I saw a kitten die, or I saw a cat die, or I saw like a beloved dog die, right? Like it's the same, that is the same feeling. That not the same feeling as like something fundamentally different, right?
That it had ahead of it, instead of an old man that
Maybe I'm being
died,
too
who's
edgy? I
85
don't
years
know.
old already. Isn't that
I
a
promise I'm
greater
not trying to
moral
be
loss?
edgy, okay?
There is a greater moral loss? No.
No.
Those two beings are morally equivalent creatures. I don't have. There's no. It's not a greater
But
moral loss.
what's the larger
It's
moral
more
loss,
when
though?
you're
Pet baby
appealing- when you're
died?
appealing
Uh-huh.
to, like.
Okay,
when-
Omni-Man.
I think what you're trying to get at is like, just does it make you innately sadder? And it does
like,
make you
my
innately sadder.
whole thing, right, with me being pro-life, a lot of pro-life people will say, oh, it has a heartbeat, it can feel pain. That's retarded because the chicken can feel pain and chicken has a heartbeat.
Yep.
The main reason I'm pro-life, and pretty much the only reason, is because a fetus has an entire life ahead of it. That is why I'm extremely pro-life. But I mean, we're just going to go back and forth a bit. But also, I want to talk
That's
about with birth
silly.
control. There's terrible side effects. Birth control turns a lot of young women gay and retarded. Like, it's actually ridiculous.
What did he say? Can we play that back a little bit?
That for a baby to lose 85 years of life that it had
What?
ahead of it, instead of an old man that died who was 85 years old already. Isn't that a greater moral loss?
There is a greater moral loss? No.
No.
Those two beings are morally equivalent creatures. I don't have. There's no. It's not a greater
But-
moral
but
loss.
what's the larger moral
it's more
loss,
when
though?
you're appealing to, like I think what you're trying to get at is like, just does it make you innately sadder?
I mean,
and it does
like,
make you
my
innately sadder.
whole thing, right, with me being pro-life, a lot of pro-life people will say, oh, it has a heartbeat, it can feel pain. That's retarded because the chicken can feel pain and chicken has a heartbeat.
Yep.
The main reason I'm pro-life, and pretty much the only reason, is because a fetus has an entire life ahead of it. That is why I'm extremely pro-life. But I mean, we're just going to go back and forth a bit. But also, I want to talk about with birth control. There's terrible side effects. Birth control turns a lot of young women gay and retarded. Like, it's actually ridiculous. That birth control is the reason why divorce rates are so high nowadays.
Do you think that there's any positives to birth control?
I don't think there's any positives to birth. I mean, yeah, you could say, oh, some woman
I-
has a disease that acts up when her hormones
Okay.
are high. But as a
Good one. Good
it
meme.
is not
Good
a net
meme, okay?
positive.
Good
It
meme.
is a net negative.
What
And
about economically?
Good meme, okay?
What about
Good meme.
economically?
All right,
economic,
very
that's what
funny.
you're worried about? What?
No, it's not what I'm worried about. I'm trying to see if you'll grant one good thing.
No, I don't think so. Maybe in the short term, yes. Long term, no.
There's a long-term economic down, like
There's a short-term
drawback.
gain. There's a short-term economic gain from birth control, but long-term, it's a terrible mistake.
So you don't find it to be a good thing that birth control would allow, that the existence of birth control would allow a woman to choose to delay having a family later in life and choose
No,
to go for
I
a career or go to college and get more educated.
The
Go to
fuck?
college
I
and get
don't
more
remember
educated
this.
for what? A job?
Yep.
Bro. Bro, women working in the workplace and taking birth control and delaying their families is the reason why the United States has a birth rate of less than 2. We are below replacement levels.
Is your objection to birth control based on?
Oh my god. What about all the men that are butthurt over like women saying no to them? during dates, or maybe like more white men tend to be much more suicidally out of control. What about them interfering with work, huh? If you want to turn towards like periods, that's fine. But like I'm just saying, white men have their own fucking struggles. Okay, when it comes to like they're probably busy surfing Reddit or some shit. Okay, like we can talk about different shit. Okay, we can talk about different shit, but it's just that make it equal. All right. Men have a really hard time concentrating on work because of male pattern baldness, okay? When male pattern baldness comes along, they start to go like, oh my god, oh my god, oh. And they panic. And they can't focus on work anymore because it's too traumatizing. Anyway.
Killing a baby, or is it based on you hate women? I don't know.
Well, it's also just like a logistical issue of the United States birth rate is below 2 births per woman, and women make up half the population. That's a replacement rate of less than 1. So with birth control, a big thing about it is that when a woman gets on birth control, it changes her hormones, and it obviously that's like the whole point. It changes what type of man that you find.
Somebody asked him the question, how many holes do you think a woman has? Okay, I just want to hear the answer. How many holes do you think a woman has, like down there? Okay,
it's attractive. So holes? A lot of young women will get on birth control when they're in high school or something.
Yeah.
They'll meet some guy who's like 5'8". He's a software dev or whatever in San Diego, and he's like, oh, he's so cute and fluffy, and they'll marry him, and then they'll get off birth control when they're 30 years old to finally have kids with this guy. And then when their hormone levels go back to their natural levels, they're going to find that 6'2" black Tyrone from high school attractive again. Then they're going to cheat on their husband. They're going to get a divorce. That's why the majority of divorces are initiated by women. Because they're on birth control because they're gay and retarded.
The thing that the entire scenario you just laid out, what was the moral wrong that occurred there?
What?
Moral wrong with what?
In the scenario you laid out, what was the moral wrong that happened there?
Well, I mean, it's a moral wrong because it causes divorce. And divorce is just invalid in the first place. You can't exactly.
Yo, this guy has went through some personal trauma, dude. I can tell.
Get a divorce. No-fault divorce is actually non-existent because you're still married to someone.
The divorce was the moral wrong? Like, that was the bad thing in that scenario?
Well, also, I'm just saying it's a huge logistical issue because we're dropping in birth rates. This is like...
This guy's funny.
Is the solution to dropping in birth rates, like... Your whole argument for like, let's get rid of birth control so women can't delay having kids so they have more kids so we fix the birth rate. So the solution to declining birth rates is just to force women into having more kids, or what?
I'm under the staunch belief that women should get married at like 18 or 19 years old and pop out like 5 or 6 kids on average. If we live in such a great society, and also when women have kids when they're like older in their 30s and their 40s, a lot of them turn out retarded.
What you just like described, aren't you allowed to do that here?
Allowed to what?
Leave high school, be 18 or 19, get married instantly, have 5 kids. Like, isn't that a thing you can do?
In America?
In America, yeah.
That's what I want my daughters to do.
Yeah, you can do that, right?
I'm going to try to set them up with dates on the guys who are like in their early 20s or something.
But that's a thing you can choose to do if you want to. You can totally, there's nothing stopping you.
Well, yeah, people can choose to do that, but I'm talking about if it's a net good for America. Or if it's a net positive for America.
It might be a net positive for America for any wide variety of things to happen. That's not the question we're asking. Is it a thing you can choose to do?
Wait, how is it a positive thing for America for the birth rate to be below 2 births per woman?
How is it a positive thing?
How is it a positive thing? Yeah.
Did I say that?
You just said that birth control is a net positive.
I said birth control is a net positive, but I'm not tying that to the birth rates in any way. I'm not saying
that's what birth control causes.
I'm not saying it's a good thing for the birth rates to be low. When we're like thinking of population stuff, I'm trying to think of where I want to go because I know where exactly where it's going to end up, and this is not
talking about like population pyramids.
It's supposed to be about immigration, but there are other ways to increase a society's population if it's collapsing.
Like
you can bring in more people
into America.
Yeah, because I know it's going to.
I mean, to be honest, he sounds a little traumatized by Tyrone. Okay, all right, just let him speak his piece. Okay. He's listen. Let him get his grievances out.
We're gonna go straight to the Grover stuff immediately.
That's what the Jews want, right? They want to lower the white birth rates, lower the white Asian birth rates.
Why would that necessarily entail lowering white birth rates at all? Why would that necessarily entail like bringing in more people from other countries? Why would that entail getting rid of white people? Why there's the same thing in your eyes?
I actually can't hear you.
I know you can't.
No, I can't.
Why?
I can't.
Why would bringing in people from other countries to supplement the population be necessarily mean getting rid of white people? Why are those the same thing in your mind?
Like that is getting rid of white people?
Yes. Why are those the same?
Because when I say we can supplement by bringing in other people, women, the population will go down, right? And then if you bring in a bunch of black and brown people who are going to have more
already American, what I'm asking you is why are you making the connection in your mind that bringing in immigrants to supplement the birth rate and lowering the white population are the same thing?
Well, they're not exactly the same thing, but they're
Is
tied
America
together.
the only country on planet Earth with white people?
No, it's not. But look at Europe. You have a bunch of Muslims in France and the United Kingdom. It's going to shit because the Muslims are retarded and sexually violent.
Is America the United Kingdom?
No, it's not.
This is a thing. This is a thing that I don't know why you guys always do this
You
stuff.
you just mentioned Europe, so that's why I mentioned Europe. Europe is going to shit too. The Jews are trying to replace the whites in Europe with a bunch of
always the
black and
Jews.
brown people who are
It's always the
retarded
Jews
and
are
sexually violent.
Honest, bro, if the Jews are as smart as you think they are, maybe they should run the world. Maybe they've earned it. If they're as smart as
they're
if they're,
Bro, wait a second. Wait a second. He's right. If they are as smart as he says that they are, why shouldn't they just run it? I will ponder upon this idea.
they're as smart as you seem to think they are.
Yeah, but the religion of Judaism is extremely evil from the, based off of the Talmud, right? So when I say Judaism, I'm talking about the modern Judaism, not the Judaism of Christ, to be specific, right?
I hear
I'm talking
you.
about the Talmud, right? They say Gentiles are animals, that even the best of us should be killed. And it's very obvious that Jews are pushing this, or pushing sexual degeneracy on the American people ever since the 60s and 70s. The CEO of almost every major porn company.
I mean, if Jews really are as powerful as you say, and they're as smart as you say, maybe we're doing something wrong. Maybe we should have more sexual degeneracy. Maybe we should have more sexual degeneracy because then we'll become as smart as the Jews, okay?
Is Jewish.
Yes, the Jews are mind controlling women to take birth control. We get it.
What?
I said we get it. The Jews are mind controlling women to taking birth
Yeah.
control. That's fine.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah, they're making them
there's
gay
this
and
thing
retarded,
my
yep.
friend made up here is that Jews don't like to push all this degeneracy on themselves because, they want to keep their population high.
experience.
But my friend
Well, I mean, he's cosplaying Nick Fuentes. He's literally cosplaying Nick Fuentes.
said something
so-
really funny. She said, faggotry for thee, but not for me. So it's saying that they're trying to turn us gay, lower our birth rates. Everything that's being pushed, feminism, birth control,
I got
LGBTQ
you. I'm
movement,
not,
abortion, is being pushed
we
by
gotta
Jewish
not
people. Dude.
obfuscate on.
I will say again, he's not a. I don't think he's a bad debater. Okay, I don't think he's a bad debater. I just think that he has the wrong points. Okay, like he does come off as someone who maybe is like not the worst debater in terms of tactics, but in terms of like talking points. Okay, in terms of talking points, like these are talking points that are easily countered. Okay, because I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. He's not exactly the best. Okay, he's not exactly the. He is being handled. He is being handled, yes. But, like, oh well.
Fucking Jew shit right now. Okay,
No Jewish discussion.
go back to birth control.
Okay.
Jew
Well,
what?
I mean, the Jews are the one pushing birth control
I don't
in
care.
the first place.
He's even cosplaying the
Well, we got to look at
gay
the
man
source
part.
of it, where it's coming from, and that's why they're doing it.
Okay, you
It's in the
live, you can continue to live in your fantasy. I'm gonna say it again. If they're as smart as you think they are, they should rule us. Okay, they're better. They're more intelligent in
evil
every way.
people.
That seems to be what you care about, right? You care so much about intelligence. If they're that smart,
Yeah,
Exactly, you should go by their framing. Yes. Unironically, that's an argument to destroy their framing. You don't always have to go to the conspiracy theory part or try to debunk conspiracy theories in total in order to go after groypers, right? I think the argument, like, yeah, if they're so powerful, if they're so awesome, then why shouldn't they run the world, right? Because you're making an argument for them, right? Like, you're ultimately making an argument for them. If you believe in peace through strength, if you believe in the strong conquering the weak, right? It's a man-eat-man world. Then why shouldn't the Jews rule everything? Because if they are stronger than everybody else in terms of manipulating everything, then how is it possible that you are advocating against them, right? Because, like, ultimately, these 2 points are not tenable. Like, they don't really make much sense with one another, you know? I don't know. Yeah. Oh, shit. Hold on. Door blocker. Okay. Lays grenade. Okay. Alright, we good. Sorry.
I mean, it is a big thing, right? And like, they're trying to replace us with all these black and brown people because they're a lot easier to control. Black and brown people, it's super easy to control them compared to white people or like lighter skinned Asian.
Also, and then if they ever go to the oh, but the Jays are dumb point, right? Oh, they're inferior. Inferior how? if they've been sneaking around this entire time and they've been like getting ahead of things, how are they inferior? They're just playing smarter, right? You're playing dumber. So why should you rule if they are the ones that are controlling everything, right? Shouldn't they have the right to rule if they are like so smart and intelligent and awesome and like manages to control everything somehow? Like it just makes no sense, you know? Yeah. Hold on. Fuck. Whatever.
It's super easy to control them. So that's why they want them to fill up America, want them to fill up Western Europe. They're a lot easier to control. You know, and then eventually they'll probably kill them off too, but I don't know what these evil Jews are up to nowadays.
Okay,
If that's
so,
shit to me.
yeah.
Bettina.
We're going back to birth control. We're doing it for the rest
Yeah,
of this,
okay,
okay?
yeah,
All
wait
right.
30
I know you don't want
Let's
to.
wrap
Want
up
to
or
talk about
something.
Jibs? Yeah. Quickly. Do you actually, truly, legitimately find that a zygote and a full-grown person is the same in your mind, morally?
I believe they are morally the same.
And like a big part of your logic for that is that killing or you think they're morally the same, and then that necessarily leads you to, if you kill that, you kill a zygote in your body in during pregnancy in your mind. I know you can't hear me. They're so fucking loud.
Alright, hand me your microphone.
Cancer.
Yep.
Good boy. Okay, guys, I know
Good.
my
Okay, what? Can you not? I thought we were past this, like, fucking Dom Fam cringe. Okay, alright, whatever, man. Like, okay, guys, okay, just the tip, okay? Don't say good boy or good girl to people you don't know, okay? Lemon! Okay? Just don't do it. It's just, I can't deal with the cringe. Are you actually fucking... Yeah, don't do it.
mother. I know I'm gay, but I swear my mom did not take birth control, okay? Okay. I'll claim it. We're claiming that back. Liberals are claiming that back. This right here
Good girl
is our
foods.
Republican
I will ban you.
opposition,
I will
Riley.
actually ban
That's
you.
your name, right? Okay. And this right here is our liberal opposition, Andrew! Woo!
Who's a good boy, though?
Good debate, guys.
That wasn't.
You did great.
He handed over the mic? Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. No, I got you.
All right, guys. For the next debate, let me just pull up my roster here. We have, on the Democrat side, Staxiums, and he will be debating on the Republican side, Kai. Right there.
Oh,
He's
these are
getting
all
up.
Valley
He's a
girls.
grandpa.
What? Can you not?
How's it going? This is the
good.
right side.
I need more.
We should swap.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
This is left wing,
No,
right
this
wing.
is good. This is
that
good.
only
This is
makes
good.
sense, right? Oh, it's left for you guys. That's true.
We're off
I
to a
only see
great
things from
start.
my eyes. That's
2
true.
+ 2 = 4.
I need a new suit. I was 20 pounds lighter before the mission, but what's going on? Hey.
How's it going? Do we want to? So yeah, it's about left wing violence versus right wing violence.
Yes. I want to say,
yes.
what an anti-Semitic debate that last
Yeah,
one
that was
was.
fucked.
That was
Hey,
crazy.
If you start blaming the Jews, I'm leaving. By the way, like that's fucked. That was fucked. But yeah, I do want to start out the debate. I just want to throw out a number real quick. It was kind of crazy. I was doing a lot of prep for the debate, and one of the numbers that came up the most was, or that interested me the most, was that
hey, I'm a conservative.
4% of Americans are encourage violence or are okay with political violence. But if you ask Democrats, they think that 40% of Republicans think that. And if you ask Republicans, they think 40% of Democrats think that. So I do think it's notable that, like, honestly,
what?
in this crowd, we're all fucking cool with debate.
Wait,
We
what's
want to
this
have
topic?
conversations. We don't want to lead to any sort of violence or anything like that. And I think that that's a
that?
little bit bipartisan. So I just
agree.
want to be like, I want to appreciate that most people don't think this shit. But we are talking about violence here. Yeah. You want to start?
Yeah, well, I'll do kind of my opening statement. I do want to thank you. You know, you shook my hand. Most of the people here have, whether they're here for me or for you or whatever. I really appreciate that. It is nice, and I'm seeing people that I, came up with on political TikTok. And, unfortunately, Soypill was not willing to shake my hand, and I don't think that does anything to improve the political relations of anybody here. But I will say you're obviously
what?
familiar with the same
Why?
statistics, and I'm sure we'll get into the statistics in this, body of research. They suck. All of the, there's a ton of methodological flaws, both on the right and the left, when trying to kind of figure out what the perspectives are about
logical
violence.
flaws. Okay.
And so I think it's actually important to look at trends. But I will say, because you've seen the same data, that there is this kind of gradient that exists regarding very progressive people and the way that they feel concerning, and this is the particular language, right, of some of these studies, punching Nazis. I think that's where the conversation has to take place. It's about the language we use.
That's fine.
Lord.
I'm happy to.
It's one of these.
So I will say, and I hope that you'll concede it. The vast majority of studies do say that like the ratio between left to right wing violence is about 10-1.
So
we can skip the studies as long as you can see that's what the studies say, and then we can go to rhetoric. I'm fine with that.
I'm going to frame I'm almost willing to concede it, but it's like 10 of my friends say that they agree with me. It's like you have to look at every single one of these studies. I don't want to bore the audience, but there are studies that are absolutely flawed in their methodology. There's studies that include domestic violence committed by people who at one time had right-wing associations. Many of these studies don't even include...
Yeah, but isn't that also applicable for 1350? Like, isn't that also applicable for 1350? Because if you want to argue, like, oh yeah, 13% of blah 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 population is blah 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 population, whatever the fuck. I mean, you can do that, but I'm just saying, like, it goes the other way. Like, the methodology for that one is like sometimes it's like, sometimes the population that is being surveyed is like the prison population. Yeah, like, no shit, Sherlock. Of course you're gonna get, like, a bunch of skewing some ways for the prison population. Or in specifically impoverished black neighborhoods, right? Or something like that. Or it's, like, heavily policed areas on purpose, where the police activity ramped up a significant amount. So you're gonna get, like, a certain subset of data that is going to indicate one way or another, right? Typically towards higher crime, typically towards, oh, black people commit higher crime or something like that. But it's just like, but it has more to do with, like, income level. Okay, I'm sure, but yeah, anyway.
Property destruction. They don't include the burning of Teslas around the country. They are, every single one of these studies has methodological flaws or is working with a sample size that has been cooked too small to be statistically significant.
So wait, hold on. To be clear, I want to take that step by step. First off, a sample size doesn't include in this because we're not polling people. We're looking at lethalities, which you don't need a sample size for. We're just looking at which specific incidences there were. And wait, hold on, real quick. I do agree that the stats that I'm using are.
You know what? I'm extracting, okay? Finding 2 purple weapons. 2 purple weapons? I'm getting the fuck out of this bitch, okay? I need to go, okay? Wait, hold on. Fuck, hold on. I need to focus now, okay? Because I really want to make it out of here alive. Hold on. Sorry. For anybody who's listening. You can listen to the original thing, by the way. You don't have to wait for me. It's on Steven's channel. Okay, I need to get the fuck out. I need to go. Okay? I need to... No, what? Holy shit, can you... Do you see this? Double purple setup. Oh my god. See something bad? You're gonna choke and make... Shush. I'm patient? What do you mean you're patient? I'm gonna... Oh, stop. Okay, ammo. Can't say no to that. Okay, nobody has breached it yet. The trap is still there. Right? Nothing to breach here? Holy shit. Wait, hold on. Careful. If anybody comes through that door, they will die. I've got to kill them. I can't afford to play Mercy. I can't do it. Hold on. 65. No, it's just barely past it. I'm gonna have to abandon a stack of ammo. Okay, yes. That's the only way. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes. Wait. Whoa!
All raiders, arc on screen.
This might be the biggest fucking grab I've ever had.
I repeat, 5 minutes.
Is this streamer luck? Is this what they call streamer luck when someone is streaming? Hold on, where's the exit? Where's the fucking exit? Where's the other exit? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. This can't be it. Come on. Yes, right here. The secret exit. Yes, okay. Now where is the... where's the thing? There.
Let's head home at the northern station.
And station? What? Where is the...
Let's go
This
to
would be
that
the
metro.
nearest. Okay. Come on. Hey, done. Okay, this station is closed, so we're not going to go there. Come on. Come on. Come on, I've got to make it back. I've got to make it back. Got to make it back. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. Cool. So far, so good. The last station. The last train. Okay, that's not good. Oh god, the nuke. It's coming! The nuke is coming!
Last warning. 2 minutes left. Head back immediately. The window is closing.
Okay. Oh. Oh my lord. That was nuts.
Ignoring things like arson and property damage. I concede that for sure. But I think when it comes to actual murders, which I think is what we're talking about here when we're talking about violence, right?
I disagree. I disagree with your friend.
Okay, well then here's what I'll say. I'll concede that left-wing people tend to burn more buildings, but right-wing people tend to murder people, and that to me feels more egregious. And if we want to have conversations about burning down buildings, we shouldn't be doing that. I agree with that. But I would so much rather rather be talking to a left-wing person who burns down a building than a right-wing person who thinks it's okay to murder people.
Yeah, well, I think, again, you know, this goes to the way that we're assembling this data. Obviously, we know that there are left-wing people who are okay with murdering people.
Wow. Wow. This was an amazing call.
Or at the very least are okay dismissing or tolerating it. And the use of the language, and I get this a lot because I'm LDS, right? The typical retort is like, oh, you know, it was really sad what happened in Grand Blanche, Michigan,
Tempest 2.
but we should
Oh my
remember
God.
that
Two
Mormons
Tempest
aren't
2.
Christians. This is what the left does with political violence, like around Charlie Kirk. This is what happened. Well, it's really bad that it happened, but what that is an effort to strip you of your human empathy. And if I'm not in a support of red flag laws, but if you want to talk about something that is a red flag, it is a lack of empathy for suffering and loss. I'm not here to police everybody and say you can't make jokes about Charlie Kirk. I've made jokes about Charlie Kirk. I sing the song, You've All Got the Lighters, which suspiciously has 2 lightning bolts on it. I don't know what the dog whistle was there. I thought this was a left-wing event. But I do believe that there's more desensitization or tolerance of violence. Like, look even back to Richard Spencer. How many people do you know that condemned the punching of Richard Spencer?
I don't know.
That's a clip.
Hold on. First off.
Yeah.
We should be really, really careful about what's, because I would love to talk about rhetoric.
Yes.
I do think every incident that you're looking at are losers online and not political candidates, not the people.
Why does that matter?
Why does that matter?
Which political candidate committed the murders?
Which political candidate endorses or doesn't condemn the murders?
True. Okay. All right. I'm glad that Destiny's arguments are going to...
That's what I'm interested in. Hold on, wait.
Which one doesn't?
Can I say that? Can I say this?
Yes, which one doesn't?
Wait, neither of them do. Which political candidate murdered people? Obviously none.
No. I'm not talking about the murders now. Which one condemns it?
Which one condemns it?
Which political candidate is condemning the violence? Like which right wing to frame it?
Democratic lawmaker, but not Donald Trump. That's my point.
That's incorrect.
Hold on.
That's incorrect.
Hold on. I'm going to give some examples. Okay. So first off, Caesar Sayok. I don't know if you guys know who this is. He was a Trump supporter in 2017 who mailed 16 pipe bombs to his supporters. And when asked about it, Donald Trump said, "There's no blame. I don't blame myself. I don't blame anyone else." And to me, I find that abhorrent. I don't think that's
okay
sound like
Trump,
for
to
our
be
lawmakers
honest.
to be making statements like that. Now, you will point to people who are maybe even in this audience, maybe people that we know, who are endorsing or making light of Charlie's murder, but you won't find that from Democratic lawmakers, but I will find that from the President of the United States, and I think that difference is...
There's no point... Hold on. Yeah, so just so you guys know, again, you guys should repeat this argument to any kind of MAGA people who are out there saying that the Democrats are too evil and too cruel and too, they have gone too far, okay? There is no point in asking... There's no point in when you're gonna get gold or red eyes. I've tried yellow eyes, but it doesn't stand out too well. It doesn't match. Okay, if I'm gonna try yellow eyes, maybe I'll try more yellow eyes, but it's not as good looking in my opinion. It doesn't feel as good as blue eyes. But I can try red eyes, but there's no good red eyes in stock out there right now. So yeah, would purple go hard? Or no, purple would. I think purple might go hard. Yeah. I have another set of contacts coming in. I know I'm just spending all my money on this, but I have another set of contacts coming in, and it's super bright blue eyes, so it'll stand out even more because this one is a little bit more subtle, right? My eyes right now are a little bit more subtle, but I'll try it. I'm experimenting. Okay, just let me experiment. Facial ring on eyes? No, thank you. That sounds cringe. It sounds like I'm trying too hard. Okay?
Pretty stark.
So I think it's interesting, but with the case of the President of the United States, if we're both going to address the arguments that neither has made, which I think is okay, it shows that we're both thinking about each other's arguments, and I like that. The President of the United States, in the thing that is often referenced by leftists to be the most violent case of right-wing extremism in recent history, the January 6th protests, the President, not a week later, is coming out saying that it was abhorrent, that he condemns it outright, that violence had no place in public policy. And look, there were
violence not having a place in public policy is not the same as condemning the right for instigating and conducting violence. Saying both sides bad is not the same as condemning your explicit side, who is responsible for the vast majority of the violence. They're not the same.
Pardons. There were presidential pardons
towards those violent extremists.
You're correct.
Towards 600. Wait, hold on. 600 people who were convicted of assault of a cop.
And you know what's
pardoned by Donald Trump.
And you know what's interesting? Even all of the pardons that Trump has done to date do not reach half of those done by President Biden, which are 4,000 in number.
But not violent offenders.
How do you know? Have you looked at every case of the 4,000?
Hold on. First off. We got to because you talked about Trump's rhetoric around January 6th, and you're saying he's condemning it.
He condemned it outright.
Now,
yes,
I do agree that you can pull specific clips where he is condemning what happened on January 6th, but we also find clips of him saying, "I don't fucking care if they have guns.
Well,
they're not here to shoot me."
Let's
sorry.
not say the F word, but I appreciate it.
Okay.
I'm in the wrong tour for this, I know, but...
Okay, yeah. Well, sorry, that was the President of the United States. He did
Yes.
say the F word, so I think it's okay to quote the President.
That's one of the worst things he's done.
Say the F word?
Yeah.
By the way, DG Clips, I think you have played a notable effort in the war against Dan, okay? When it was still ongoing. When you uploaded the video about like the hidden Dan drama shit, I think that a lot of people in the comments were vastly supportive of me. People misunderstand that you're not actually a part of Destiny's like media apparatus, right? You're not employed by Destiny. You're not related to Destiny's employment in any way or shape or size, not even like by orbiter status. Like you're a completely separate channel, but people think that you are. Okay, people think that you are. They've even saying like, oh, I've seen DG Clips. Okay, I've seen Destiny post this about Dan. That means he condemns him, okay? Even though that's kind of misinformation and definitely, like, they definitely believe something, you know, like, again, they don't know, or maybe they can't read. Even then, okay, even then, you know, yeah, it's helped me. So I appreciate that, okay?
Wow.
There are
But also, you know, I still don't know what your name is. I still don't know what your identity is, okay? I mean, I can't just call you DG Clips all the time, but I probably have to, okay? But I don't know anything about your true nature. Ooh, who are you actually? Ooh, spooky. Wait, it's the guy? Yeah, it's the guy. I wish you can get more subscribers, though, because your videos get like 20,000 views, 30,000 views, 40,000 views, and you edit these videos too. And you only have like you have less subscribers than me, so it's like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what all your viewers are watching or doing. Anyway, he uploads shit before August does. August straight up doesn't upload some shit like stuff that August doesn't even upload. Sometimes he uploads, so it's like, you know. Like stuff that isn't even on Last Night on Destiny, stuff that isn't even on the main channel, nothing. So yeah.
There are several, but it's up there.
All right. So look, Donald Trump was on record.
Yes.
A journalist was there to document him saying, "I don't care. I don't effing care that they have guns. They're not here to shoot me." Now, yes, he also condemns the violence once people start rallying against him and say, hey, you got to condemn what happened. But I want a president, and I expect from a president, to be 100% peaceful, not just 75, 50, wherever the percentage may be.
I mean, look, if the standard is that the politicians are only condemning violence once people start pressuring them to do it, when are we going to get after Barack Obama? When are we going to get after events that eventually lead to the shooting of congressmen in baseball fields? When are we going to get to the fact that $2 billion of property damage are caused because of rhetoric regarding systemic racism in this country?
Okay,
and when are we going to...
Except that you do have a stake. Me. You seem to be a massive fan of me. So when you catch up on what I'm doing and you're making videos on me, despite the fact that you edit my face to look absurd, okay? Despite that, at the same time, think that you upload with a bias in my favor. And you know what? I'm not complaining, okay? I'm not complaining about that, okay?
First, the fact that calling a person a fascist is actually absolutely going to enable people who think that punching a Nazi is okay.
Okay.
So you're a part of the, listen, you're a part of the Foodshops propaganda wing, okay?
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
IFKED up foods. I started the C. Kirk song Help PLS.
Yo, thank you so much for the £2, Big Ed. I'm gonna be right back. Going to the bathroom. Yeah, okay, right back. Hey, if you enjoyed the content, I got more for you. It's on my second channel, which is Snack Markets. I'm trying to get as many subscribers as I could. Obviously, even though I got monetization, I'm trying to reach monetization with ads, so I'm trying to push it to 1,000 subscribers. We also got a Discord server. It is discord.gg/Foodshops. We have a pleasant community. It's strictly moderated. It is just about the most sane drama community that you can never be a part of. Now, you can also follow me on Kick. That's kick.com/Foodshops. I put all my VODs there. The VODs are not on YouTube. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can find me at Foodshops. Almost forgot one last thing. My online streaming thing really isn't possible without a large portion of my income coming from donations from people like you. If you would like to contribute, you can become a member or donate super chats and memberships during my streams. However, since YouTube takes 30% as a service fee, and you would like to maximize the money received for me, please donate on Kick, where Kick only takes 5% and I get 95%. You can even donate offline as well if you cannot catch up to the streams. Thank you for your support.
Wait, hold on. You said a lot of things. I want to break them down slowly.
Okay.
First off, the shooting in the baseball field, right?
Yes.
You're talking about the Bernie Sanders supporter.
Yes.
The next day, Bernie Sanders said, I do not support this man. I am so sorry that happened. If any of you guys are in my field, I want you guys out. We support peace here.
That sounds like what Trump said. You're just not admitting that a politician...
Hold on. The next day after Paul Pelosi was hammered to death, he joked about it, and his son is saying, this is my next Halloween costume, and it was underwear and a hammer. Now,
yeah, it was referencing Paul Pelosi's hammer fucking attack.
I want to condemn the people who were Charlie Kirk for Halloween and had.
Wait. Oh my God, Mutin and his wife is playing Arc Raiders. I know. Interesting. Cool. Is he using an anvil with light shields?
Blood and thought that was funny. That's fucked.
Based.
That's gross.
Well, F word again,
That's
but
gross.
based.
Sorry, that's effed. That's effed. Is that okay?
And look,
no, wait, hold on.
That's okay. That's
but
okay.
We should also be looking at the son of the president and the president himself, who joke about this same incident when it's the husband of Nancy Pelosi. I don't find that okay, and it was one of his supporters. And I think, by the way, one of the most the biggest things that we talk about when it comes to violence, the way to the way to prevent violence is by condemning it, because we don't want the person to feel like a hero, and we want to make sure that everyone else is able to rally and work with law enforcement, and that can't happen if the top-down structure refuses to condemn the violence.
I could agree to some extent with that. Like, I personally think that, comments either made about Rob Schneider or other, I do think those are inappropriate. And I think, maybe not all the Republicans here agree with me, but I think there does have to be, less cruelty in the way that we exercise our political opinions. And we do see that, unfortunately, with the way that some of, the ICE raids are done. I think, yes, the American people, they sent their mandate. They want ICE raids. They want...
The American people are tired of women.
Deportations. Right. But I don't think people want to see it. And I think oftentimes the Trump presidency or the admin is doing things in a way that is not conducive to, actually achieving what they want and actually encourages the left. That being said, the left is absolutely being encouraged. They are fighting off the very police that you're talking about. And if we're looking at, who is maybe more dismissive of violence, or if the right or the left is more violent, the right is absolutely taking a law and order type approach. And you might disagree. You might say that, well, Trump pardoned a bunch of criminals. Joseph Biden literally pardoned 2 times as many, either commutations or pardons during his last presidency.
You have to look at what specifically he pardoned. Now,
this is north, right? Guys, is this north? Guys, is this north? Somebody in Gen Chat, I think it was Capolo, who said that this was north. Is this north? He looks way different. He looks a little fatter. Obviously, no offense, okay, but
a huge, I would say, the plurality.
Are you willing to go out and defend the 4,000 pardons and commutations?
No, I'll defend the plurality of them, though, and the plurality of those pardons were drug offenders, were federal marijuana users or distributors.
Right?
Now, I don't think that they should be. I think that it's fine to pardon those people and say, look, it's pot. Okay, it's pot. We could chill a little bit. Okay. Now, I think there's a difference between that and someone like Ross Ulbricht, who Donald Trump Trump pardoned, who was the leader of the biggest black market in America and was convicted for 40 years because of smuggling children and smuggling dark, really Schedule 3 drugs. I forgot the schedule.
Well,
whatever
if it's
the highest
marijuana
one
now,
is.
it is Schedule 3, and I think that's a problem.
Whatever the highest
but if
one
you want to
is.
go after, the marijuana uses, maybe you're on Trump's side regarding the reclassification of marijuana. Maybe you come off as the Trump supporter.
Sorry, there are some things that Trump does that are okay. Yeah, for sure. When it comes to...
And for me, there are some things that Trump does that are not okay.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I think it is ridiculous, this frame.
Okay, it is North. Guys, there's only one person who would make argument, oh, some things Trump has done is okay. Oh my god. It is, guys, it's North. Oh my god. I should have recognized it from the beginning. I can't believe it's North. It's fucking North. Okay, alright, whatever.
That look, I know the name of this individual
Funny shit.
who, you know, was a non-violent drug offender that was pardoned by President Biden.
Yeah.
I can defend the plurality of the January 6 protesters, not every single case, obviously.
600 out of those 2,000 were
hentai.
convicted of assault of a police officer.
I think that there is obviously something that needs to be analyzed in every single one of those cases, and unfortunately, and I'll concede this, I don't have the time to look over every single case, but I'm also not naive enough to believe that this was not an extraordinary event that had an extraordinary amount of prosecutorial pressure, because it was an attempt to make an example out of something, and that, in my opinion, is not the way our justice system is supposed to work.
To me, I think that storming a political capital and assaulting law enforcement does need some punishment, and I'm happy to hear that you're a little bit more soft on crime than I am. I think that
we're not sending our best. Wait, is North still even active in the community? Is North still active in, does anybody know whether or not he's still active in the community? Oh man. You know what? This is why I never show up for these like IRL events, okay? I want to remain mysterious, okay? I want to remain elusive, okay? Limited voice chats, limited conversations, limited events, okay? You know, I gotta prioritize getting the mysterious vibe, okay? You know what I mean? Like, I only appear only when I want to be there, okay?
That's a totally acceptable position.
Unless they sell drugs, then it's worse.
Sorry, unless they sell pot. Can we be...
Pot is the number one gateway drug.
No, I would rather
it absolutely is.
You're not going to get the crowd on this one. The vast majority
of people... I'll get any of them that aren't smoked out, that haven't been smoking that sticky green stuff.
We could chill a little bit. We could do a little slap on the wrist. But the idea that people were in federal prison for marijuana charges... Like,
minimum.
That's what you're comparing against the January 6th protesters is insane.
No, I think look, let's get back to kind of the idea of the debate, right? And again, this is not, you know, a referendum on Trump's January 6th policy, although I think it is important to mention that he, like every single politician, when they are pushed to condemn the violence, like mass violence that occurred, he did condemn it. And I don't think that's something that's mentioned oftentimes by leftists. But the posturing of these parties, the rhetoric that has occurred, I don't think you can divorce the results that we've seen in recent years, either against, I mean, what do you think has led to the attacks on ICE, on Border Patrol?
Sure.
What do you think has led to those attacks?
No, of course. Well, I would say what leads to those attacks, and I'm not condoning those attacks, by the way, but what leads to the attacks is the infringement of due process, and also the consistent grabbing of U.S. citizens. The New Yorker did a piece where they went into an ICE facility and they found 170 U.S. citizens there. Now, I think that's fucked, and I think most people. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, Kai. I'm trying to work with you. I'm trying to work with you.
I appreciate it.
That is effed. That is messed up.
Let's go.
Okay.
That is fetched up.
I grew up around Mormons. I grew up Mormon myself.
Stop.
My mom's the same way. She's on your side during this debate.
Let's go. We love you, Mom.
What is this cut shit?
But yeah, sorry. That's what was I saying? Was messed up.
We're talking a little bit about the rhetoric, right? And I want you to address that point. The rhetoric surrounding punching Nazis.
I agree. I think that's messed up.
Okay, here's the problem. In this debate, and in many of these debates, and it's happened a lot in Jubilee debates, the left never needs to stake a claim. The left can say, well, I actually don't support Joseph Biden, you know, pardoning his son, or I don't support all of his presidential pardons, but you, as a Trump supporter, have to support all of the presidential pardons of the right.
Sorry, where is Biden's rhetoric ever been conducive to punching Nazis? Find one time where he said we should punch Nazis.
Okay, hold on.
Stop apologizing. Fuck this guy. What, to North? North is doing fine, I think. Like, he has his own way of debating. I think that's fine. Like, obviously, I mean, it's not like he's letting back, right? Like, I think he is still being aggressive. He's just being aggressive in a Mormon way, okay? Oh, Lord.
There's a conflation.
But wait. I could point out that Donald Trump has said, knock the crap out of him to protesters at his rally. And then he said, I'll pay the legal fines for those who do. And I feel like that rhetoric is different.
Okay, here's the problem. there's an obfuscation of the
Yeah,
guilt,
like,
and
he's
there's
not
this
going
minimization
soft,
of
right?
and a
I don't think he's going
removing
soft.
of context.
That's
Why
not
is
North
it? Do you
Pole. Am I
think?
dumb? No, I Papilla, is this north? How do you know it's north? He does sound like north, but he sounds slightly different than north. Is it the voice? Like, what's going on here?
That when, and because it is true, right-wing people have referred to their political adversaries as being like the Nazis or being like Hitler. Why do you think it is that right-wing people never punch Nazis?
Don't worry about it.
Why is it? Wait, sorry. Say that one.
If being a Nazi is such a bad thing,
Wait,
when a
what
right-winger
makes you
calls a
say he's
leftist a
North?
Nazi, why is there not an influx of violence against the supposed Nazis?
No,
It's because people
I'm not joking about
implicitly
North
understand
looking chubby.
what is being said by the politician is, you know, it carries a weight that is also perceived culturally. In this sense, there is a cultural perception of right-wingers as Nazis and fascists that simply does not occur on the left. In that same way, when Trump says to his,
hold on.
I'm responding to your point.
Donald Trump has called multiple people.
He's also he is also making the same arguments as North would make. You know what I mean? Like he's making the same arguments, right? Are you serious? I thought it was supposed to be 1 hit, not 3 hits. Was it North on Wig TV at the no Wig, dude? No, North has called into my stream multiple times. And we argued.
People fascists.
Yeah, no, this is the point I'm proving.
Okay, go ahead.
Has anybody ever punched somebody because Donald Trump told them that they were a
There's a guy who
fascist?
witnessed Charlie
Sayok
because
mailed
nobody
16
believes it.
pipe bombs because of it.
Where? At
Sorry?
the RNC and the DNC.
What?
At both the RNC and DNC.
No, it was not. It was towards Nancy Pelosi, a number of journalists that were critical of.
Wait, hold on. Which
Trump.
case are you talking about?
Caesar Sayok.
When?
2017, I want to say 2018, maybe.
Okay, I'm thinking about the January 6th pipe bombs. I'm thinking about a different deal.
Okay,
because I was
that's
going to
okay.
say the motives of that individual, you know, they're very much more up in the air. Bombs
Sure.
were supplied to both sides, right? But
Yes,
look,
that's him.
It's
Whoa.
like these situations. I think it's baffling. You just can't think of an example, and I don't even conceive of it because it's so ridiculous that somebody who's being told that the Democrats are the real fascists are going out and punching Democrats like Hassan Piker or somebody because they're the real Nazis. Nobody buys that. Nobody believes it.
No, bro. North was on. I'm pretty sure North called into when me and Destiny were together in the stream voice chat, and he called in like twice in total because, and I was like, North, we gotta settle this, okay? You're actually a liberal. You want to be a liberal. The Republican Party is dead. Yeah, I don't know. It was funny memes, okay?
Hold on. We got to break this down a little bit slowly.
Okay.
First off, I don't think it's conducive at all to say that we should punch Nazis.
I agree.
I do think
Because it happens.
Personally, I think.
Hey, friendly, do you have a coffee machine?
A what?
A coffee machine for a quest.
You mean the? Oh no, I don't have it, bro. Let me check.
Okay.
That Donald
Is it
Trump's a
North?
fascist and a lot of his
Papilla!
Trump supporters are fascists.
Go and
but
ask
I
him,
believe in
DM
debate.
him.
I believe in conversation, and I don't think that we should punch fascists, even though I do believe that they believe in some fascist ideologies. Wait, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So I condemn all of those people who say that we should respond in violence. I don't think that that's the answer. I think that it ruins what a democracy is built on. It ruins what America's built on.
Here's the problem: is you're saying that Donald Trump is a fascist to a group of 40% of strong progressives who believe it is okay to punch fascists and Nazis.
Sorry, 4%, not 40. 4%.
No, hold on. It's
not
you have to look at these different stuff.
You're locking in?
Different stuff.
Nazis? Okay,
to
sure.
punch Nazis.
Sure.
I'm not talking about violent extremism. I'm speaking specifically about your terminology.
So then a real question. If you, let's say you, how am I supposed to act when the Trump administration is doing things that are a little fascistic to call them
he's
fascist,
making the
but
arguments,
also not
though.
engage in violence? How do I walk that line? Because
He's
if you have a
making
better
the
answer, I'd love to walk that line.
arguments
I will
as
condemn anyone who thinks that it's okay to punch Nazis, anyone who thinks it's okay to commit violence, but I also don't know how to say, well, this person is a fascist. He is enabling the Supreme Court to give him immunity on total immunity, I find like what else should I be calling that? How else can I engage in that?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously.
Wait, what do you say?
Nazis? Okay,
to
sure.
punch Nazis.
Sure.
I'm not talking about violent extremism. I'm speaking specifically about your terminology.
So then a real question. If you, let's say you, how am I supposed to act when the Trump administration is doing things that are a little fascistic to call them fascist, but also not engage in violence? How do I walk that line? Because if you have a better answer, I'd love to walk that line. I will condemn anyone who thinks that it's okay to punch.
This might not be North, dude. No, this is not North, Kapila. Because North wouldn't make an argument like that. North wouldn't say that Trump is fascistic. No, North is skinnier, right? I was like, oh, is this Hunter Avalon? Wait, Hunter who? Wait, this is not Hunter Avalon, right? No, Hunter Avalon doesn't look like this. What the fuck? Why are there like 2 people named Hunter? White guy with blue eyes and glasses and brown hair is North? Bro, why do they all look the same? Not Avalon? Oh my lord. Can we stop having so, like, okay, who fucking pissed in the gene pool? Holy shit. Sorry. Okay, sorry, that was me. I'm sorry.
Nazis,
okay, tone down the
anyone who thinks
edginess.
it's okay to commit violence, but I also don't know how to say, well, this person is a fascist. He is enabling the Supreme Court to give him immunity on total immunity. I find like.
What if they're all the same person, except they have like multi-personality schizo disorder or some shit? Like what if they were just all the same person and then they just like swap identities and shit, so then we wouldn't know? Bruh. I think I'm a little scared about that revelation actually.
What else should I be calling that? How else can I engage in that?
I mean, I think obviously it's very difficult to dismantle it because this perception has been built up by the media, by Hollywood, by politicians, by plenty of people over decades. This is something that goes all the way back to the aftermath of World War II, where you have perspectives, either, the tenets of fascism that are supported by Umberto Eco, or the ones that are outlined in Secular Humanism, the magazine, the 14 tenets of fascism, which very frequently concern things that are just simply right-wing in their nature. Things like a traditional mentality towards generals. Things like the idea that the state does not need to be libertarian. All of these things begin finding themselves as part of an authoritarian personality. The exact thing that is being deemed a gateway to violent extremism by becoming Nazism. And it is a way of dismantling the right wing. I think that's the problem.
That's a thing that I think you really need to... It's a hard conversation to be
you're
had,
so wrong.
Because you're like,
North
Umberto
is not
Eco,
this fat.
His 14 tenets
You're
of fascism,
North fat.
it does outline some conservative values in there, for
It does.
sure. Now, here's
You're
the
calling
thing.
North
Maybe
fat.
we should be... I don't know how else to acknowledge that maybe some conservatism does
It's
lead to
over
fascism.
for you.
That unfortunately, these two ideologies are inherently tied to each other. Now, I'm not saying you have to be a conservative to be a fascist, or you have to be a fascist to be a conservative.
I think the problem
All
is...
right. Okay, guys, that is time.
This guy with that debate, Charlie Hurley and got shot. That's crazy.
That was a fucking great debate.
Dude, can you imagine like being the person who was beside Hitler when Hitler committed suicide or some shit? Holy. No, they would all be dead. Yeah, they would all be dead. Your camera? Oh shit. Oh. Give me a second. I forgot his name until I looked it up. North is North. Hope that helps.
All right, guys. We have another debate coming up, and this one on the Republican
Your camera's
side.
off? It shouldn't
we
be.
have
Hold
Sarah
on.
Stock, who's going to be debating